Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If there is any problem with my audio or the video, please do let me know. Right now I'm a better than yesterday, but yeah, currently as well, my voice is not appropriate enough. But I will try to speak a bit louder so that you guys don't have any problems while hearing me out. The audio and the video is absolutely clear. Clear, am I right? SS has said it's all good. Arun has also said it's all good. Great. Arya Rastagi, good evening as well to you. Amit, I'm like a little bit better than yesterday. Okay, I'm so sorry I was not able to take up your class yesterday. I had planned to do so, but I wasn't feeling like under the wind, so that's the reason why. Yeah, I'm also fine. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Priyansh is also there right now with us. That's amazing. Tarun, good evening. Today, guys, we'll be starting off with our practicals on React. Okay, so we'll be coding a lot today. We'll try to finish off up till styling React. That is our aim for today. Tomorrow, we'll be looking at components in React. So let's try to understand everything. There will be some new concepts that will be coming along the way, including HTML as well as CSS as well as JSX. So we will learn it like in a breeze itself. It won't be any issue. There won't be any issues while you are learning. So even if there is, just let me know in the live chat, okay, and I will help you guys out with the same. Also, today I'm planning to, like, for the next few days, I will be calling almost every one of you individually just to get a feedback on the boot camp, any suggestions that you want. Because, see, for us as non-profit, it's really very important that we are able to do something for you guys that you actually want. So, like, we have our idea about what is necessary for placements. Okay, so for us, we know that the training and internship program is more than sufficient for getting placed. But for a student, there might be something else that they actually want. So we want to identify those patterns as well as getting a feedback over the boot camp, whether you guys were able to understand it, some other topics that you would like to see in the future. So yeah. Uh, Vanya, yesterday we didn't like had any class. So yesterday I was not well. That's why I didn't had any class. Today we are having a class right now. Okay. Yeah, I will be calling. I'll try to call each and every one of you individually. You don't have to worry about it. I don't think so. Most of the people haven't joined yet. Okay, no issues in that. We'll just wait for 5 more minutes so that everyone is being able to start with us, because today we are going to start with the practicals. I want everyone to be on the same page when we are starting off. Okay. Can you show the syllabus of the full stack development course? I will just send you the link. Okay, you can just go through the syllabus. I have already discussed upon it. I think so. I've already discussed upon it if I'm not wrong. I will just send you the link for the syllabus itself. So you can download the syllabus from right over here. Okay. Mohammed Bilal, you can directly go to this website and from there you'll be able to get the syllabus. Secondly, for those who are interested to start, like, see, if you want to end up at a good company, you need to know C++ or Java, and then data structures and algorithms and competitive programming. For those who don't know C++ properly, we have started a video series on C++ for free on YouTube itself. But we have a second channel that we are having, and we conduct those videos right over there. So I will just share the link with you guys. I also don't. Okay, so this is the link to the second channel. Let me just show it to you guys. So you can learn the entire C++ from right over here. Okay, the channel name is DevTown 2. So you will be able to see this particular channel right over here. The link to the same is down in the description. Yesterday we released two videos. Okay, what are C++ core concepts, introduction to the language, C++ concepts. Today we are going to have like two videos that we have scheduled for today. Okay, reference variables in C++. I think so. The spelling for reference is wrong. I will try. Divesh, could you just look into it? I think so. The spelling of reference is a bit wrong. There's an E that is missing for today's video. And types of comments in C++. So it will be a 15-day long run for C++ that we will be having. After 15 days, we'll be releasing either Java or Python. So that is our aim. So we'll be taking up C++, then Java, then Python, then JavaScript. And these are like every day we'll be releasing 2 videos right over here. You can complete each of these languages from absolute beginner to the most advanced concepts in these languages. We won't be including data structures and algorithms, but we are also planning to release that very soon as well in C++. So that's our aim, to be able to provide you as much as possible. And these will be complete from beginners to the most advanced portions. So I encourage you guys to actually go through these videos, practice it accordingly. If there are any assignments, complete those assignments. These will ensure that in the next 15 days, so today would be yesterday was the first day, today is the second day. So there are like 13 days more left for completing the C++ program. So I will request you guys to complete it properly. It's extremely important for your placements as well. Okay. Okay. It isn't a live session, it is a pre-recorded session. We are like experimenting with both live as well as pre-recordings, seeing what would be better for the students, like how would they suit us or students as well. Okay. The link is down in the description of the video itself. Let me just show it to you guys if that's the case. So if you go, so this is the video that you're currently watching. Okay, so when you go down, there is like 2 links, DevTown 2 and C++ core concepts. So we have already created a playlist for you as well, that you can go through this entire playlist if you want. And if not, if you don't want to go through the playlist, you want to look at the entire channel as well. The channel link is also down in the video. You can easily go and see that channel. And I will suggest, if it's possible, do subscribe to the channel as well. It will really helps us a lot. So this is the video that you are currently watching. So you can just go down to the description and you will be able to see DevTown 2 as well as C++ core concepts. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so live sessions, no, that is a recording. Like I said, we are experimenting with both recordings as well as live sessions right now. What about data structures? We are planning so to do that as well. So first of all, we are releasing C++, then Python or Java, then Java, then we will be releasing data structures and algorithms as well. So we are taking it step by step so that nobody is getting lost throughout the way. That is our aim. Okay. So from where the mentors of full stack development, where are the mentors of full stack development? So the mentors for the full stack development would be from different companies. These people have just joined these companies, for example, Google, Microsoft, Oracle, Cisco, Goldman Sachs. So you can just go and check out the instructors from right over there. As you're able to see, you are having Oracle, Sony, DevTown, then let's see, American Express, Geo, McKinsey and Company, Google Summer of Code, and there are many other instructors as well. If you are ever filling up the attendance form, I think so all the instructors are listed right over here if you are able to see. We are Amazon, HP, Porsche, we are having CodeChef, we are having Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Microsoft, Oracle, Google. So we have a lot of mentors that will be teaching you throughout the program. Yeah, Richa, we will be releasing Java videos. So I'm still debating whether we should release the Python videos first or Java. So after the next 13 days, we will be deciding between one of those languages. That language will again be released for like for 15 days or 7 days. And then we will be having the next language. So that is how we have planned as of this particular moment. To work with React locally on laptop or PC, do we need anything to be installed first? Yes, Shreyas, there will be a lot of things that you will have to install. That's why we are using Code Sandbox. So we have already sent you the code sandbox link yesterday as well, if I'm not wrong. Please let me know. Yesterday we sorry, day before yesterday. By yesterday I means the the class just before this. You guys have received the code sandbox link. Am I right? Okay, great. So can we start off with our today's class? Please let me know, guys. Can we start off with our today's class? Please let me know. Okay, so let's get started with our today's class. I hope that you guys will be paying attention because there will be a lot that we'll be dealing with today. Okay, so let's get started right away. I won't be able to see your live chats right now. So periodically I will be shifting to this screen to look at the live chats as well. Okay, to answer some of your questions. So let's get started. First of all, yesterday we had seen that we are having our so let me open this in a separate tab and just like close this up. We don't require this. Are you guys able to see everything on my screen? I hope that everything is legible and clear as well. Okay, so as you are able to see in the biggest thing that we want to contain within here is the code itself. The rest we can directly collapse. Okay, so you are having your index.html file where your HTML basically resides. You are having your styles.css file where your most of the style basically gets applied right over here. So I'm just removing everything from right over here. We don't actually need it. Okay, then you are having your index.js file where most of our code will be going right over here. Okay, so are you guys familiar with this? I think so. We have discussed it about on that day as well. Okay, so dependencies. So we currently have two dependencies that we have installed right now. Okay, so this installation has already been done by Code Sandbox. If you were working locally, you would have to install these libraries on these packages on your laptop as well. Using a Code Sandbox, it already comes pre-installed for us. We are going to use the React library as well as the React DOM library. Both these libraries are JavaScript libraries that have been created by Facebook to help you guys just build React based applications much more easily. So first of all, in JavaScript, we in this particular index.js, we need to like utilize these libraries. So these libraries are installed. Just think about it like that, that these are some files of code that is already there. Once you've installed it, it's already there on your laptop. Now you need to import them. Now you need to use them. Now you need to require these like libraries in your code. Okay, you need to tell your code that okay, you are referring to these two libraries that you are going to use to build upon your entire application. To do that, the code is extremely simple. We are going to First of all, we are going to start from the basics. We will be looking at imports as well in JavaScript. But as we are starting from basics, we are going to require these libraries to be of use to us. So we are going to create a variable called as React. And we are going to require, okay, we are going to require the React library. Okay, we are going to require the React library. So we are creating a var variable called as React that is a reference that contains the library, the entire library of React that we have installed within it. So here React comes pre-installed, but if you are working locally, you will have to install it separately. You need those files. The second thing that we require is React DOM. So we are going to create another variable called as React DOM, and we are going to require that as well. And we are going to require React DOM right over here. Okay, so this is the two lines of code that we have written right now that basically just tells JavaScript to require these two libraries and save it inside two variables, React and React DOM. Okay, now as you're looking at our website right now, it's totally blank. We have nothing on our website. We need to render some. So you are basically, instead of writing your entire code in HTML directly, you are going to use React to render some of the app div tags or some of the h1 tags, whatever you want to render on your browser itself, on your screen, on your website. To do that, React basically gives you the access to React DOM, that is basically the virtual like DOM that we had talked upon in the previous video itself. So we are going to use React DOM, the variable that we have created right now. So React DOM dot render. Okay, so basically we are trying to render a particular thing. Okay, so we need two things to actually tell JavaScript to what to do. So basically we are going to render what we are going to render. So it will be what to render. And the second thing is where to render. So let's start off pretty easy. Okay, what to render? Let's consider that we want to render a simple h1 tag. So for those who aren't very familiar with like HTML, don't worry. An h1 tag is nothing else but just the big bold text that you are able to see on websites. Okay, it's the heading tag, just like you are having a heading in your newspaper that's big and bold. Similarly, right over here, the h1 tag makes things big and bold on HTML websites. So what to render? We want to render an h1 tag. So let's write h1 right over here. Let's create an h1 tag. Okay, so we have created an h1 tag right over here, and we want to write something inside of it. So this is an React website. Okay, let's keep it a bit short so that you guys are also able to see it. React. Okay, let's keep it just React. We want to render a React h1 element on our screen. Now the first part is complete. What do we want to render? We want to render an h1 tag. Where do we want it to be rendered? Okay, so let's look at our index.html file. We want it to be rendered inside this div element. Okay, so our entire body, our entire website that we want to render using like React, we want it to go inside this particular div element. Okay, our entire website should go inside this div element. Now, how to access this div element from the JavaScript file? So it's not as easy as saying that, yeah, so just like that's a particular place that you want to render it to. You have to use JavaScript to identify this particular tag itself. Now, the good news is it already has an ID. So just like in a particular class, every student has an individual ID associated with it, that you can identify a particular person or a particular student using that ID. Similarly, in a particular HTML document as well, you can use ID to like exactly specify a single element out. Like it has an ID associated with it. So I know that the ID of 10182 is basically belonging to a student named Shaurya. Okay, similarly, an ID of root, I know that because it's written right over here, and an ID of root denotes to this particular div tag itself and no other div tag or no other any other tag itself. It has an ID associated to it. Now, as you are able to see, this is an HTML document. Okay, so to get access to this particular ID, you are having a particular JavaScript method that you can use, that is document dot get element by ID. Okay, I'm so sorry, get element by ID. Okay, so why we are using this? So we know the ID, that is root. Okay, we want from the document itself. So the HTML page is called as a document. Okay, you want to get an element. Okay, the div tag. Okay, the div element from that particular document by its ID. Right over here, what's the ID? The ID is root. Okay, so as soon as I'm saving this right over here, going back to my website, you are able to see that we are having a React, that is a big bold text on your screen saying React. This is the h1 element. If you are going into the inspect option right over here, okay, you will be able to see that we are having a React that is being rendered right over here. So h1 element that is being rendered on your screen as of this particular moment. So are you guys able to see this properly? Please let me know. You guys able to see it properly? Please do let me know. So if somebody has the link from yesterday, could you guys please share it with the students? Okay. Error React is not defined. You don't have to worry about it. We haven't used React up till now. That is the reason why. Okay, once we will be using, so currently we are not using React. I will be letting you guys know when we'll be coming to components, when we will be using it, and why we have written it right now, even though when we are not using it currently. Okay, we will be coming to that, but let's take everything step by step. So we will be coming to that right now. That's the main point. Okay, so let's look at the code again. Now, as you're able to see right over here, this is not a JavaScript like language. As you're able to see, React.dom render h1 element. So that is an HTML. So the portion, the code that I've highlighted right over here, that's an HTML code. It is not a JavaScript code. I have not put any strings. Like, it's not a string. It's a proper HTML code that is coming inside our JavaScript code itself. So like, why is that the case? Like, this shouldn't be the case. Like, we should be able to write just JavaScript code right over here. Now the problem with writing just JavaScript code is, so this is called as JSX. Okay, JavaScript, this is called as JSX. That is basically a form of JavaScript that has, as like, you can put HTML inside of it. Okay, so it's not exactly JavaScript, it's not exactly HTML. It's a hybrid between the two, where you are able to write your JavaScript code as well as put your HTML inside of it. Okay, so why is that the case? Why we are able to do this? Why is this code running? If you are using normal JavaScript compilers directly, you won't be able to do this. For example, if I'm removing this first line of code and saving it right over here, going back to my website, reloading the page. Okay, inspect. Okay, so this is working right over here. So this browser actually contains the thing, so no issues in that. Basically, what is happening right over here is you are using this React library to install a particular compiler. So this React library contains a compiler inside of it called as Babel. Okay, so Babel is basically a compiler for JSX language that basically consumes all new era JavaScript code and converts it into browser editable, like browser understandable code itself, like a older version of JavaScript that you would be using. For example, if I was not using the JSX code and I just wanted to do the same thing using pure old JavaScript itself, then I would have to write something like this: var h1 is equals to document dot create element, and then I would have to create an h1 element right over here. Then I would have to have an h1 dot inner html, and then is equals to, let's say, react. And then I would have to have like document dot get element by id, root, put it up in strings dot append child h1. So this is the difference between your plain old JavaScript and your new era JSX. As you are able to see in JSX, it took just one line of code to create the React element, H1 element on your screen. Whereas if you were using your plain old JavaScript, you would have to write 3 lines of code to do the same thing. I'm going to my website. As you're able to see, the first React basically comes from your React DOM, your JSX language itself, whereas the second React comes from your traditional JavaScript language. Okay, so that is the main difference between the two. And Babel basically does nothing but whatever you have written right over here, it converts this line of, so Babel is a compiler that compiles this line down to these 3 lines. So that is its use. So Babel basically reads to your JSX code right over here and converts it into your plain old JavaScript code that you have written right over here. So JavaScript helps, so Babel basically helps to in these conversions, that you don't have to write that amount of code. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Don't worry about syntax errors. Okay, it will be handled later on. You don't have to worry about it right now. Okay. Are you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know, because this is very important to understand. We will be, Arya, like I said, we will be coming to import statements as well in the beginning itself, as I've said that. But right now we are using require because that's a traditional approach. We'll be using import when we'll be reaching in our today in tomorrow's class. We'll be starting with components because there's a reason behind it. To understand that reason, we need to go step by step by step. Okay. Shriyansh, you are not able to understand the. See, okay, do one thing, don't code along with me. If you are coding along with me, you won't be able to listen to what I am speaking. You won't be able to understand. I will have to repeat it 2 to 3 times. Okay, so that is not healthy for us. So don't code along with me. Focus upon what I'm teaching right now. You will be making spelling mistakes. You will be making errors. You will be making different things while you are coding along with me, and I will not be able to help you guys out. So don't code along with me. Okay, first focus upon what I'm teaching, then afterwards code. You will be able to compare both the code and go along. Okay. Okay, great. So right over here, what we have done is I was explaining Babel. Babel is a compiler that comes along with your React library. Okay, so it already, like, Babel is a compiler that is already present in the React library. What it does is, so all your browsers cannot understand your JSX code. Not main. So for example, Opera won't be able to understand your JSX code, the previous version of Opera. So what happens right over there is, if you are having a React website on Opera, it won't be able to understand anything. So what we want is Babel basically helps compile this entire JSX code. Okay, that is a hybrid between JavaScript as well as HTML, and compile it down to plain old JavaScript. I'm not making you guys understand these 3 lines of code. Okay, nowhere I'm and making you understand these 3 lines of code. What I'm saying this is, like, if you were writing your code in plain old JavaScript, this highlighted 3 lines of code is how you would be able to do it. Okay, but what Babel does for you is, you are writing your JSX code right over here. It compiles it down to this plain old JavaScript that every browser is able to understand. I'm telling you the importance of Babel, that's all. We are not discussing about these 3 lines of code. That is what I'm trying to make you guys understand. Have you understood the importance of Babel? Please let me know. Yes, Sahil, that's absolutely clever. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know so that we are able to proceed further from right over here. Okay, great. So now you need to understand that why we are writing this require. Okay, so require is what works for the previous versions of JavaScript. So when Babel boils it down, this is what it will look like. So if you are using the latest version of JavaScript, okay, so let me just comment these 2 lines out. Okay, if you're using the latest version of JavaScript, this is what you will be writing. So import React from, okay, React, and then you will be having your import React DOM from React DOM. Okay, so this is what you will be like. If you are writing this particular line of code, import React from React and import React DOM from React DOM, this will be converted. This will be again like broken down to a previous version of JavaScript that will look like something like this. Var React is equals to require React, and var DOM is equal to require DOM. So this is the conversions that happening. Right now you have written an ES6 compliant JSX code. Okay, this is an ES. So this is the not the latest version, but the most stable version of JavaScript that and JSX that's currently there. This is the code that will look like if you are writing your JSX code according to the most stable and the most used version, that is the ES6 version. Okay, so that is the difference between the two. Are you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know, guys. Uh, See, Arya, again, I'm telling you, if you're working locally, don't do it right now. There are many concepts that you won't be able to understand. Work on a code sandbox. Node.js have explained it previously as well. When you're working locally, Node.js gives you, so for example, right now we are working in the browser, so all these dependencies are handled by the browser itself. You need to give an environment to the entire like platform. So you need an environment to be given to JavaScript where it is able to run. Susie will meet afterwards. Okay, so you need an environment where JavaScript is able to run. So Node.js basically gives that simulated environment to it in your local machine to be able to thrive. Okay. What is the shortcut key to convert code to comment? It's pretty easy. What you can do is select the lines that you want to convert to comment, and then press control and then forward slash. Okay, so it's control and then forward slash to convert it into comment. And then for example, you are having your comment, you want to decomment it, you can again select the lines that you want to like just convert back to code, and then you can click on control and then forward slash once again to do that. Okay, the next thing that we need to learn is okay, so right now we are having just one element that we are rendering on our website, that is React. What if I want to have a paragraph element along with it as well? We want to create an article, we want to have an h1 element, that's the heading element where the heading of the title goes, like the article goes, and then we want a paragraph about React as well. How to do that? So let's just lowball it right over here. Okay, we will create a paragraph element right over here. Let's close the paragraph element. Okay, I've created a p tag, and then inside that p tag, let's go back, let's search for React. Okay, let's have some kind of let's take this paragraph itself from right over here. Okay, let's take it from right over here. I don't want to write a lot, so that's why. You can also do the same. So I have pasted the paragraph right over here as well. Let's save it, go back to our website. We are able to see that we are getting a huge syntax error right over here. Okay, so it basically what it is saying is that you cannot have multiple elements that you are able to render of like any other so for example, this particular line of code can only render one element at a time. But what if I want to have two elements? Can you guys suggest me a method? Okay, this basically says that what to render can only be one HTML element. Okay, but what if I am having h1 element as well as paragraph element? What are my choices? Can you guys think about something? Please let me know. Create division. Okay, Google Black. See, what happens is most people won't be familiar with what division is. They don't know the full form. Let's keep it short. So what will be the element? Create a div tag. That's absolutely clear. So we need to create a div tag. We need to containerize these two elements inside a single element. Okay, so basically, like if I'm showing you a box, okay, now of course iPhones don't contain chargers anymore, but think about like iPhone 6 or something like that. I'm showing you a box, it's a single container itself, but inside of it, it has a phone, it has a charger, it has a wire, it has a earphone, it has some pens, it has some paperwork. So it has multiple different objects inside of it, but from outside it looks like a single container. So we need to create a div tag right over here. So what we are going to do is we are going to engulf this h1 tag and the p tag inside a div tag. So let's go back right over here to the very end and let's enclose it inside a div tag. Okay, and let's save it right over here. You are able to see that it auto corrects it automatically. So you are having a div tag at the outermost layer, that is a single tag itself, and inside of that you are having your h1 tag and then your paragraph tag right over here. When I'm saving this right over here, going back to our website, reloading the page, or it gets re-rendered automatically, you're able to see that we are having a React title as well as the paragraph tag right over here. You can put as many tags as you want. Okay, are you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know. Sir, can you explain import method and var method, please? So the import method is according to the latest conventions of JSX and ESX, okay? Whereas the require method is what Babel converts it into, okay? So Babel will then simplify it into a previous version of JavaScript that will look like var react is equals to require react. That is the basic thing. Are you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know. Okay, so you guys are able to understand up till here. That's great. That's great. So let's do one more thing. Okay, so if somebody is still not able to understand this, please let me know so that I'm able to progress accordingly. Okay, don't hesitate about the same, because I'm trying my best so that everyone's questions are being answered accordingly. If you still feel your question hasn't been answered, please put it down in the live chat. Okay. Okay, so right over here, this is basically HTML. Okay, so this particular portion inside the entire document is HTML. The rest of the document is JavaScript itself. Now, what if I'm having a variable right over here? Let's create a variable var name is equals to sure. Okay, so I've created a variable right over here, name. Now, this is an HTML piece of code from dev to dev. This is an HTML piece of code. How do I put my variable name right over here? So instead of React, I want it to be my variable. So let's remove this particular React from right over here, replace it right over here. So I want name as the variable to come right over here. So I'll think that, okay, like Shaurya told me that this is a JSX code, it has JavaScript, it has HTML, so it would be able to understand when I'm writing name right over here that it refers to the name variable, the variable called as name. But you will be able to see that when I'm doing this, it's actually coming as the text name itself. It's considering it as a HTML line itself, HTML code itself. So what to do for that? For that, you need to engulf it into parentheses, okay, curly brackets. You need to like just cover it up with curly brackets right over here, and you will be able to put it out accordingly. So if I'm going back to my screen and reloading, okay, so it has already been reloaded. You're able to see that the name basically contains, so it's a variable right now. So to put any piece of JavaScript code right over here, okay, you just need to put it inside a curly braces, and now this particular text will be considered as a JavaScript code inside of HTML. So for example, if I want to do like append something as well, so let's put up a space, then again let's put up author. Let's create another variable right over here. Author is equals to sure. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, let's go back right over here. By Control S, React app. As you're able to see, we are having React by Shaurya. So as simple as that. And the text is all coming up as an H1 element because the JavaScript code is again covered with an H1 element. If I want the by to be like an H3 element, a bit shorter than H1 element, but still bold, what I can do is I can close my JavaScript code right over here, begin another JavaScript code right over here, and then just convert this to an H3 element and close my H1 element right over here and open up an H3 element right over here and save it. So if I'm going back to my website, it's React by Shaurya, and by Shaurya is a bit smaller than React. So it's like H1 to H6, where H1 is the largest and the H6 is the shortest, but they are all bold. So H3 is somewhere in the middle. It's half of what H1 already is. Okay, are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. I will explain that dollar sign as well. No issues in that. But first, are you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know so that I'm able to proceed accordingly. Why it came to the next line, Abhishek, you need to understand HTML for the same. So basically each of these HTML elements will take up the entire, so they are like block elements. So they take up the entire width of your screen. So an H1 element and an H3 element cannot be, by default, cannot be on the same line. So as each of these elements will take the entire width of the screen. So H1 is on one line and then you are having H3 on the other. You can change it as well, but right now, taking up the basics into account, you guys don't understand HTML. That's the reason why we are not discussing it. Okay. Are you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know. Great. Now, what if inside of this JavaScript itself, I want to have another, let's say, inside of the JavaScript, I want to have some HTML right over here, like some text right over here. I don't want to have like, so for example, by author. So this entire line is basically JavaScript. What if inside the JavaScript, I want to have HTML as well? So let's just remove everything from right over here. Let's remove the H3 element in its entirety. You are having your name right over here. Let's remove that. If you want to keep JavaScript, like HTML inside, so this is now whatever I'm writing right over here is JavaScript. It's considered to be JavaScript. What if I want to write HTML inside of there? So instead of writing JavaScript, I want to write HTML inside of there. I have some JavaScript. I want to have some HTML as well. So for that, you are having your, I don't know what this is called, like, do you guys have any idea what this particular symbol is called? I have forgotten the name of the same. Are you guys like, do you guys remember the name of this particular symbol? I have forgotten the name of it. I don't think so. That's apostrophe. Let's just consult Yahoo itself. Yeah, I have no idea. They are saying grave, so I think so. That's name is grave. Backtick. Okay, let's consider it as backtick itself. I have no idea what this is. Okay, so you are having a particular symbol right over here, and that is basically along with tilde. So you are having your tilde symbol, that is this particular symbol right over here. On the same button, you will be able to find this symbol as well. Okay, so whatever your HTML piece of code is, let's assume that this is a paragraph. Let's have this as a paragraph element as well. Okay, inside of it I want an h3 element right over here, so I can just put my h3 element here itself and have like hello world written inside of it. Okay, and if I want to have like JavaScript, so now this is JavaScript, so this curly braces is JavaScript. Okay, inside of it, if I'm having this tilde tile symbol, I have no idea what it is called. Okay, backtick symbols. Okay, then inside of it, whatever I'm writing is HTML. Now inside of that as well, if I want to have JavaScript, so inside of this HTML again I want to have JavaScript. For that you're having your dollar. Okay, and so let's first assume this. Let's first go on our website. So it's actually not rendering it. It's not rendering it as an HTML. It's rendering it as a text itself. But no issues. There might be some issues with the compiler. So no issues in that. If you want to have JavaScript inside of that as well, what you can do is you can put up your dollar and then you are having this symbol. Now it again gets rendered as JavaScript. Having dollar name, so it's like tilde dollar name again, so that will be rendered as JavaScript. So this is not something that you will be using at any point of time, because this is like inception level shit. Like it's like you're having a JavaScript inside of it, you are having a text, then inside of it you are having a JavaScript once again. So you don't want that at any point of time. So if you directly want to have JavaScript, directly use the JavaScript symbol itself and just put name inside of it, and it would work accordingly. So that is the main thing. So yeah, I don't think so it's like quotation marks. I'm also not very familiar. I think so it's called as backticks. Okay. Yeah, it's like you can put up, like you're having JavaScript, then inside of it you are having your HTML, then you again want to put JavaScript inside of it. So that is the reason why you are having a dollar and all those symbols. So somebody asked that question, that's the reason why. Normally you can directly just put it into curly brackets, and that's more than sufficient. You don't have to rub your brain over it. Okay, so we are just putting it up inside an h1 element again to make sure that we are back to basics. Go back to our website, and yeah, it's working. So that is the reason why we had the entire thing laid out right over there. Okay, you don't have to focus upon that. That was something just for external information itself. Okay, that wasn't meant for anything else. You don't have to worry about it. Now let us try to understand some other stuff as well. Let's do one thing. Let's try to render images on our website. So along with the paragraph element, let's put an image tag right over here. Okay, let's put up an image tag right over here. src source is equals to let's put up a source as well. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to our Yahoo search. We are going to search for React logo. Let's take up this image. No, I guess this one as well. Okay, so is this also black? Let's take up this particular image. Let's copy the image address that we want to put up on our website. So we are basically having another image tag, that is image src, and the source of this particular image is this particular link right over here. Let's save it right over here, go back to our website. So we are having a undetermined error right over here related to div. Okay, so I think so we need to close this tag as well. Let's close this tag right over here, so we cannot leave an open tag. So img s, I've saved it, I guess. Okay, so as you are able to see, we are having the entire image, but it's huge right over here. So for example, if I'm writing the same line of code, so let's remove this entire line of code. Let's remove this entire line of code, save it right over here. As you're able to see, we are only having your h1 and the paragraph tag. Let's go back to our index.html, and inside the body tag itself, like after div tag, let's put it up after div tag, we are having your image tag right over here. We can just remove the closing tag. So we are having both an opening tag and a closing tag. Right now we are just having an opening tag, that is the image. Let's save it right over here. Okay, so I think so I've put something extra. I've saved it right over here. Going back to our website, you are able to see that the image is loading up naturally. We don't have to wait for anything else. So even if I'm removing this, if I'm saving it again, it basically keeps it into place and the image is still there. Okay, but not the same thing goes around for your React. Okay, so HTML is very like easy. It automatically corrects your mistake for you. But when you're writing your code inside of JSX, okay, you need to have an opening tag as well as a closing tag. Okay, what you can do right over here is you can remove the closing tag from right over here and just like make this a single tag itself. It is the tag that opens up as well as closes. So you don't have like anything in between that. So you can just create it as a self-closing tag. You can save this right over here, go back to your website, and the image will still load. But the image is huge. We need to reduce the size of the image, so we will be working upon that. But I hope that you guys are able to understand that we are having image src right over here. You're able to see that we are getting some type of Jsx attribute error. Okay, that image elements must have an alternate prop, otherwise the meaningful text or an empty string for decorative images. So what it wants from us is it should have another attribute inside of it called as alt, that is alternate text for the image, so that if you are having screen readers, so screen readers does not understand what that image is, so you have to tell that particular software that okay, this is a particular React logo or something like that. So we'll have another attribute inside of it, alt is equals to, and then we are going to have alternate text as React logo. Okay, so we are having an alternate text as React logo right over here. Let's save this. We are again getting something right over here. Document.get element by root, I think so. There is. Okay, so we haven't put up a closing tag right over here, no issues. So I've already put it up. Now it should be working appropriately. Let's go back to our website. So you are able to see that we are having the image as well as the text as well as the heading that we are able to render right over here. Now what if I want to make any style changes to this? Okay, so we are having an image tag. I want the width of the tag to be not, the image to be not more than, like, let's say 50% of the width of my screen. What I can do is I can go to styles.css. Okay, I can select the image tag from right over here, and I need to put up some styles for it. So let's say the width of this particular element, I want it to be 50% of the width of the entire screen. Okay, that's when I'm saving. So this is a CSS piece of code. I hope that you guys don't know about the CSS code. Just imagine that I'm selecting the image tag. So you are having your image tag right over here. I'm selecting that and applying, saying that the width of this particular element, the width of this particular image should not be more than 50% of the width of your desktop. Okay, or if you're looking at your mobile phone, the width of the screen at which you're looking at. Let's go back to our website, reload the page. Okay, so as you are able to see, the width of the image is now 50% of the width of my screen. Even if I'm putting it a bit shorter, you are able to see that the image is still 50% the width of the screen. That is the window that I'm currently seeing. Okay, so that is how you are able to put an image right over here. Now the problem is, what if I'm having multiple objects? So let's create a, let's say, are you guys able to understand everything up till here? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand up till here? Yeah, as an image is an empty tag. So when you're coding in JSX, it's not exactly HTML. It's a JSX code. You need to remember this. In HTML, if you have, even if you don't have a closing tag, it would work. But in JSX code, either it should be a self-closing tag or you need an opening tag as well as a closing tag. Okay. So the image tag is basically, img is basically a tag that is used in HTML to insert images in your website. It has two attributes associated with it: the src, that is your, where is that particular image. So right now we are taking up a link to that particular image, and the second one is your alternate text, that is alt. So alternate text basically tells you an information about that particular image itself. Now screen readers for blind people, they are not able to see the image itself, nor the browser is able to understand what the image is. So you put an alternative text that, okay, whenever that image comes, it will basically say this is an image of React logo. That's the main thing. Okay. Are you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know. Great. Now, please remember one thing, you should be very clear with your mind. This is, whatever you are writing is not JavaScript. It's not HTML. It does not follow the exact protocols of both the languages. It's JSX. Always remember that, okay? Because we'll be coming back to it right now itself. So let's create a list of items as well. In JavaScript, what are the different topics that, sorry, in React, what are the different topics that you need to know? Let's create an unordered list, okay? So to create an unordered list, you just have to have a UL tag right over here. UL tag. Okay, so we are having an opening UL tag and a closing UL tag. That basically means an unordered list. Okay, the full form is UL is unordered list. This list needs to contain items inside of it. So that is called as list items, li, or list items. Okay, so let's create list items as well. Let's create 3 list items for right now. The first list item, the second list item, and the third list item. So in React, you need to learn Redux. Okay, you need to learn components. You need to learn, okay, let's capitalize it. You need to learn Redux components and let's say hooks. Okay, so let's take up 3 topics from React, and these are the 3 topics that you need to learn. So let's close it up. Let's go back to our website. As you're able to see right over here, you are having a UL unordered list. Okay, that is having bullet points inside of it, and you need to learn Redux components and hooks. Now what if I want to like make color changes to all these 3 elements? Okay, so I want Redux to be, let's say, red. I want components to be green, yellow or orange, and I want hooks to be green. So these are the 3 colors that I want the text to be as. Now if I'm selecting, so if I'm going back to my CSS and again selecting your li tag, so it will apply the color changes. So if I select color and then I change it to red, it will apply the color changes to all the 3 tags that are having li inside of it. Okay, so all the 3 li tags, all 3 of them, okay, all the Redux components and hooks, all 3 of them will become red in color, as you are able to see right over here. Let me just refresh the page. As you're able to see, Redux components and hooks, all 3 of them became red in color, and we don't want that. We want each one of them to have a separate color. Now for that, when you were working with just HTML, you used classes. Just like you are having IDs to associate every single like person in a particular class or in a particular school. So every person in a school will have a unique ID associated with them. No 2 students can have the same ID. In a similar way, multiple students can have a particular class. Okay, you can identify students on the basis of class. I want to talk to Sunil from class 5th D. So 5D will contain almost like 60 or 30 students inside of it, but I can say that, okay, Sunil from class 5D. So but in HTML, you directly write class, and that is how you basically assign a class to any particular like element. Okay, just like you assigned ID to any particular element, you can assign class to any particular element. But now class has a particular value inside of JavaScript. Okay, so in JavaScript, that's already a keyword that has some meaning. Class already has a meaning in JavaScript, so you cannot use class. So for that, you are going to have class name. So it's a Jsx attribute that refers back to class itself. You need to remember that this is a Jsx code. It's not a pure JavaScript code. It's not a pure HTML code. Even if you're writing just class, it will work. Okay, if I'm writing class is equals to, let's say, R. Okay, class is R. Okay, so it will still work. Your entire code will work. So if I'm saving this right over here, going back to my styles and having dot R, color is red. Okay, going back to my website, reloading the page, you'll be able to see that only Redux is now red. But this is not the correct way to do it. Okay, this is not the correct way to handle this. As you're able to see, we are having 2 errors as well. I'm not able to show the errors. Give me a second. Okay, so as you are able to see, you are having warning invalid DOM property class. Did you mean class name? Okay, so you cannot use it directly. Okay, React DOM.render is no longer supported by React 18. Use create root instead. Okay, so we don't need to care about that particular warning right now. So right over here, if you want to change it, if you want to correct it, you just need to use class name, which is camel cased. Okay, as you're able to see, the first letter that we are starting out with is small letters, and the second letter is basically a capital letter. Again, when you're using normal HTML, if the attribute is, let's say, create a class name, it's an example, then it would all be in small letters itself. But as this is a JSX code, so every second word, it would be camel cased. Okay, every word would be camel cased in JSX. Every attribute name would be camel cased. So I'm saving this right over here, going back to my website, reloading the page. Okay, you will be able to see that one is already gone. We don't have that particular warning right over here. Okay, so and we are able to see that we are having only your Redux as read. Similarly, we can assign multiple class names as well. So class name, let's put it up as, let's say, orange, and then we are having another class name right over here, class name, and we are putting it as, let's say, green. Let's save it. Let's go back to our CSS. Let's have other classes as well. So dot o, and we want to have the color as orange. The next one is .g, that is another class that we are having right now. And inside of that, we want to have color. I want to have the color as green. Let's save everything right over here, go back to our website, reload our page. As you're able to see, we are having Redux as red, components as orange. It looks a bit yellow, I don't know why. And then you are having hooks as green. So this is how you are able to style your React code using CSS. So that is the entire property that I'm trying to make you guys understand. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. See, it's a very bad practice to use IDs. Okay, so it's usually, there are two things that are usually suggested while you are working as a web developer. First, never to use IDs until unless it's absolutely essential. You should never be using IDs at any point of time. The second particular reason is that the second particular suggestion that is always given to you is that okay, I forgot the second suggestion. It's really important. It was in my brain right now it's totally lost. Okay, first there were use IDs, and there was one more suggestion that was always given to me. Never to use your image tags. For right now, when you were writing your styles, you were writing the image, you were assigning like the style directly to the image tag. Never to do that as well. Always use classes for the same. Create a class name, use that. Never directly assign it to a particular HTML tag. Never use IDs. Until unless it's absolutely essential, you cannot use a class right over there. Never do these two things. Okay, so always remember that. These are two suggestions that I would like you to know. Can you share this code after the class? Sure, Tanishk, I will definitely share it with you. What to use instead of IDs? Whatever I've used right now, class name, you need to use that. Okay. We could have used body tag instead of the div tag in JSX. No, because this entire thing is getting rendered inside a div tag, and you already have a body tag right over here. So no, you cannot do that. Secondly, right now I'm not able to get that error right over here. So when I'm going to inspect, I'm going to console. Okay, so console was cleared, so I'm not able to get that particular error. So there's one more error that you will be able to see at any point of time. 6 hidden. Okay. Custom levels, let's have warnings as well. Okay, so warnings are not helpful for us. Let's have verbose warnings. Okay, so there is one more error that you guys might be able to see. Okay, it will say that this particular document, like it will show you this particular sign, the greater than sign, and it will share less than sign, and then it will say you that this particular element does not exist or something like that. Why is that happening right now? You would see that error. I'm not able to get that error to show it to you right now. The reason for the same error would be that basically your HTML code is treating this index.js file as a JavaScript file and not as a JSX file. Okay, So it basically is telling that although I have converted this to a JSX file, but this is not a JSX file, this is JavaScript file, do something about it. So the error would basically tell you something like that. So what you can do is inside your index.html, when you are including the index.js file right over here, the type you need to convert it from text or JavaScript to JSX. Okay, you need to convert it from text or JavaScript to JSX. Okay, I'll tell you guys the problem with that as well. Were you guys able to understand up till here? Please let me know. And this JSX would be in capital letters itself. Okay, so as soon as you will be saving this, that error would be gone. If you guys were getting that error right now, I'm not getting that error right now, but that's the only thing that you need to change right over here, and that error would be gone. Okay. And we use style tag for styling. Yes, you can use, but that's not a very good practice to keep your styles and your React. So why we have created your CSS? Why we have created a separate HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files to keep everything separated. Tomorrow, when we'll be learning components, so each of these components, so the image, the h1 tag, the paragraph tag, the UL tag, will convert it into its very own different components itself. Okay, so everything needs to be separate. Okay, why not IDs? Okay, so Rohit, you need to understand that IDs are something that like once used you cannot reuse it. It's just for that particular element that you have used it. So it's never a great practice to use IDs at any point of time, and that's a thumb rule. Okay. Shortcut. So the shortcut, there's no shortcut. If you have a proper boilerplate that is installed in your VS Code, you can just like HTML and it will automatically fill it up for you. Okay. Yesterday we had provided you guys with the boiler code as well. So I'll share this particular link with you. Just copy this sandbox. Okay, I will paste it right over here. Okay, so I've given you the code for today. Is whatever we have done today, the code is right over there. Secondly, please like the video. Okay, it really helps us a lot. There are almost 221 of you right over here live with us. So please like the video. It really helps us a lot to like whatever we are doing right now. Secondly, again to remind you guys, many of you are like planning to go into software engineering and other fields as well. Before that, C++ is an extremely important language that you need to learn for data structures and algorithms or competitive programming or like that as well. C++ is an important language to learn. Okay, you cannot grow. Nobody's going to ask you C. Okay, they will either be asking you C++ or Java. So C++, we have made it free and we have put it live for everyone to use. The link for the same is down in the description of the video. Okay, I can just show you guys that as well. Yes, second. This is the video that you are currently watching right over here. Okay, if you just scroll a bit down, you will be able to see DevTown 2 and C++ core videos right over here. After today's class, we will be so every single day for the next 13 days, we'll be releasing two C++ videos for free right over here, which you can, if you're completing this in the next 15 days, you will be able to learn from the absolute beginner level to the most advanced level in C++. You don't have to refer to anything else after this. Okay, so this is the second YouTube channel that we are having, DevTown 2. I would request everyone to subscribe to the channel as well if you found that information useful. As you're able to see, two of the videos are already there. So what is C++ in 1 minute? Introduction to the language, C++ concepts. Right now it is premiering reference variables, and after that we will be premiering the types of comments in C++. So every single day we'll be releasing two videos of C++. After C++ is over, we will be releasing every single day 2 videos of Python. Then we'll be releasing 2 videos of Java, and so on and so forth. Then we'll be releasing 2 videos of DSA in C++ and Java. So like this, if you don't even know C++, you can begin from right over here. It's for free of cost. We don't charge anything for it. The only thing that we require from you is subscribe to the channel, the new channel. Okay, we have some subscribers. We have almost 27,900 subscribers right over there. Try to make it 28,000 if it's possible. That would be awesome as well. Okay, so as well as the link to the playlist is also down in the description of the video. So right over here in the description of the video, in today's video, you are having the link to the playlist as well. So you can start watching the videos from right over here. You're able to see we have scheduled everything for you guys so that you can go through the entire thing. Okay, and it's like small videos. You just like daily you will have to give like 10 minutes maximum or like 15 minutes maximum for over a span of like 15 days. That's it, and you will be able to learn the entire C++ language. So I think so that should be more than sufficient for you. We are actually testing different things out. We are testing out like live sessions, we are testing out pre-recorded sessions, and we are trying to like make sure what students are able to like get a most grasp out of and what is more beneficial to the students. So we will be doing a lot many number of things. Next month we are actually planning to bring people from various different companies, like big people who have worked in like 10 years 15 years, that like the head of technical department in Misho or phone pay or something like that, who will be taking up small boot camps and small webinars for you guys, like for product management roles, APM roles, graphic designing roles, UI UX roles. So we'll be bringing those up for like 2 months over June and July. We'll try to make sure that you guys are also being able to part of that as well. Again, that will also be for free. We won't charge anything for that. Okay. Java can be used for web and app, but C++ only for CP. Shouldn't be able to choose Java as its all-rounder. Goku, you need to understand two things. First of all, even if you're learning Java, you won't be implementing it. You won't be learning the web development part of it. Now, C++ as well as Java have the same syntax. They don't have a lot of change in that. But you need to start doing CP. So there's a very big misconception that, okay, so that is also used for web development. Now, C++ is the same as C sharp. It's very similar to C sharp. Now, C sharp is also used for web development. And C sharp has a greater use in web development when compared to your Spring, that is basically your Java applications. So what is better, to learn C++ or Java? You're not going to learn web development in Java right now. It may be possible that in the future, if you're joining any company, they may be assigning you. So that chance is like less than 0.001%. But CP, you have to do it today. And so doing CP in Java is a lot more difficult than doing CP in C++. Okay. So please repeat where to start C++. Harshit, the current video that you're currently watching, okay, in the description of today's video, so this is the video that you're currently watching. In the description of that video itself, I put up the link to the second channel of DevTown as well as the playlist for C++. Every day we'll be uploading 2 videos right over here. Each one would be like 10 minutes long, maximum to maximum 20 minutes a day. You can give for over a span of 15 days. You will be able to learn the entire C++ language. It contains everything. It contains your normal like introduction from the utmost basics to oops and everything else as well. File system handling, everything will be covered in the entire 15 days. It's like 33 or 34 videos in total that will be there in bits and pieces. We haven't created a huge video like of 6 hours or like 3 hours at once. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. We'll release that as well. But this is something that we have done so that in bits and pieces over a span of 15 days, you are able to learn the entire language. So that is our aim. After this, we'll be releasing Python continuously, and then Java continuously, then DSA continuously. Then we'll be thinking about something else as well. So a lot we are working upon right now. Let's see how it goes on. Okay. So for the new batch, for which company the mentor will be for the full stack course? MD Bilal. So we don't have a particular mentor for a particular course. So each mentor has its own speciality that he has created. So for example, the mentor from Amazon, is the best at AWS. So he will be the one who will be teaching you cloud computing with AWS. The mentor from Cisco is the best at networking and Dockers and DevOps. So he will be the one who will be teaching you DevOps. The mentor from Google is the best as backend development. So she will be the one who will be teaching you Node.js, MongoDB, and so on and so forth. The mentor, so for Google, we are having like the initial basics will be taught by a particular person from Google. The React portion, that is the front end development, will be taught by somebody from a separate company, maybe Goldman Sachs, and so on and so forth. Okay. We'll surely make a playlist on Java as well. Okay. So the roadmap, Pavan, as I've said, I'm releasing for C++. I've already like said every 2 days we are releasing videos that will cover everything for C++. You don't have to worry. Everything from the basics to the most advanced level. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. Do watch that, guys. Again, there are like almost 233 of you. If you guys are like, if you want me to continue bringing you these boot camps, please like the video. It really helps us a lot. Okay, like if there are 230 of you, I want to see at least 200 likes, man. Like that, I think so. I can expect that from you guys. Please let me know. Okay, still a lot many of you are very hesitant to like the video. I don't know why. It will just take 5 minutes, guys. Okay, I will create the attendance link in the meanwhile. Okay, so I need to copy. Today is day 6, if I'm not wrong. Let's create the attendance link for day 6. Try to fill up this form as soon as possible for today's attendance and put up your correct phone number as well. I will be calling you guys individually from today onwards so that I'm able to get a feedback from you guys, what you're expecting from the boot camps, what you're expecting, like if there is any career guidance that is required as well. Okay, so I will try my best to call every single one of you who are filling today's attendance form. Okay, so try to fill it on time today if that's possible. Okay. It will take me some time to call every single one of you. Okay, but I will try my best to call at least 20, 25, or even 30 people on a daily basis. After 5 o'clock or after the boot camp itself, I will be calling you guys for like 3 hours. So let's see what happens. Okay, so this is the attendance link. You can, of course, take a screenshot for that as well. Okay. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Let's meet tomorrow. And if we are connecting on a call, let's talk as well about what you're currently doing, what you want to do, what is the aim, all these kind of stuff. And if you have any feedback, please do let me know. Okay, we require a lot of feedback to actually keep on bringing you something new. So some students said that we need pre-recorded sessions on like languages, on like new technologies. So we are currently developing that. Some students say that we wanted boot camps from like somebody big, so like who is like the leader of a particular company or something like that. So we are also bringing you that in the next 2 months. So all these basically like what I feel is beneficial for you. So we created the training and internship program. What you feel is beneficial for you, you would have to tell us. Okay, so that is what we'll be working upon right now. So thank you so much, guys. And for those who want to enroll in the training and internship program, again, in the form, there's no option for phone number. Oh shit, I forgot. Okay, no issues. I will just tally it back to the previous form where I have your phone numbers as well. Don't worry about it. I will call you from right over there and we'll have a chat. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. Have a good day.